What's today, May 10th? June 10th?
June 10th. Good
June 10th.
My son and him went to school until my son was 10 years old.
So, Ron, you got a big crowd here today.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
me.
Where are we going?
I don't know. I don't know this idea.
We're just the blind following the blind here.
Yeah, this is blind. This is the blind leading the blind.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's get started. Everybody that lived up here, except for about 2 families, were Lewis's. There's a cellar hole field there. That's a Lewis. Elisha Lewis is right in back of Kevin. He had the loudest voice of anybody in the Agamenticus.
Well, just that little depression with
That
the
hole
rocks
right
on it?
there
Yeah,
is
okay.
Elisha's root cellar. He had the loudest voice in the Agamenticus. The people up here used to communicate by hollering. This was all open. And Neil Ramsell told me that when Elisha would come out and hook up his horse in the morning, Neil Ramsell lived a half mile down that way. He said, I could hear Elisha talking to his horse. He was, and I can remember him coming up here hunting as a kid. My father used to coon hunt. You hunt at night. And Elisha was still living in his house there. And the first time I come in here at night, we got out. He said, what is that noise? And my father said, that's Elisha in the house. I said, well, who the hell is he talking to? He said, himself. He did. He carried on the biggest conversation with himself. And he lived on, my uncle, who lived down here, used to come up and see him as a kid. And he said he lived on salt pork. He said he was always frying salt pork. He said you couldn't see in the house because of the salt pork. So he said one day he came up, it was in the winter, and he came in the house and Elisha says, I'm getting supper. Do you want to stay for supper? And he says, what do you got, Elisha? And he says, I got a sweet potato. He says, it's right outside on the doorstep. Henry said he thought it was a husk turd. It looked like a husk turd. And Elisha went out and was frozen, brought it in and sliced it up and fried it up and made sweet potato chips. And that's what he had, that and salt pork. He said he thought it looked just like an old dried up husk turd. And that was his meal. But the people up here, when we get up to where the civilization was, there was Samuel Lewis Jr., Samuel Lewis III, Alonzo Lewis, Samuel Ed Lewis, Charles S. Lewis, and Josiah Lewis. And Sam Ed Lewis lived in a camp after his house fell down, which all these houses up here fell down. He moved to a camp down here. And my uncle said when his mother made biscuits once a week, she'd say, take a biscuit up to Sam Ed. So he said one day he buttered the biscuit and took it up to him. And Sam looked at it and he said, I can't eat that. And he said, what do you mean? He said, I can't eat butter. He said, it's too rich for my system. So he says, don't butter the biscuits.
Hey, and if anybody doesn't want to be videotaped, just let me know, and I'm happy to keep you out of the video.
The other person that lived up here, who wasn't a Lewis, but he worked in the woods with all of them, his name was Charles Hasty from the Hasties up to Southburg. Hasty's Mill.
Yeah, okay.
And he was prodigious cider drinker. And people in Southburg knew him. He had a famous for an expression. 2 glasses of cider will get you drunk, they 10 all in.
Today is June 10th, 2023, and Ron is leading a group of people up to Second Hill. And I believe the first place that we're going to stop is the 2 caves that Ron knew about one, and I believe he discovered the second one on a walk that he and I were on last year.
And these 3 of us have real experience with ticks, huh? The pant legs.
A private traditional right-of-way.
The way the hill went. What stream is this, Ken?
Second Hill Brook.
Yeah. He had the slick hair. Oh, yeah. If you don't want to poison anybody, just chop that up. It's cutting that. Yep, that's probably it.
Yep, here and here. 2 inches? Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
No.
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 That one looks good. Looks like an animal.
Okay, it is. It is pretty good. How you doing?
Can you go in with the backpack?
Come out right over there.
You see everything. He's brave.
I just don't want
He's brave.
I don't want to run into a bat on my head. No. I don't see any.
That could be a tagline. He's brave.
You're gonna need the light there. You're gonna need the light when you go in here. Because there's running water in the bottom of it.
Oh, wow.
It's only an inch deep.
Comes very
All right, here goes.
We should all remember how skinny he is.
We should. You can make it. It opens up a lot in there.
Does
Oh
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's monstrous. You want to give me the light? I can't see which way to go. You coming in the other end?
The other end?
The other end is like a cathedral ceiling up there. You can drop right down in.
Are you going in, Kevin?
Yeah, oh yeah.
How many people can fit in there?
All of us.
Hundreds.
Well, I didn't say how. You going in, Andy?
I'll move aside.
Oh, okay. I was following you.
Take your time. I'm probably rushing you out here.
Like it would give out and say, oh, you're not getting back up.
Yeah, I want to go in.
Want me to hold the back?
It just depends on how much of a pretzel you want to be.
You go out the other side, there's fine.
Yeah, hold my backpack. Are you going or you're thinking about it?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Is it moving?
No, it's not. It hasn't.
Is that moss at the bottom? Or?
It looks almost like some type of a moss.
Thank you.
I can't believe I haven't run into it.
God, it smells so good in here.
Wow, that is weird. Kevin's got to get a closer picture of that.
We got some hieroglyphics in there?
Something.
Yeah, right there.
Something from outer space.
Right there.
It gets better, Jimmy.
All right. I'm taking your word for it.
Yeah, you can do that.
I got it in my hand. This is where I saw the bat about where your head is. Oh, nice.
I think it goes without saying, but you don't want to come up to this cave alone. If you come up, bring somebody else, maybe a couple of other people, and make sure somebody else knows where you are.
Sometimes I saw all that stuff going up on top up there.
I'm in. Hey! What?
Oh, thanks, Ron. I mean,
Yeah, you need some light.
Just that little thing.
Whoa, what the heck is that?
I don't know.
There's another one right up above your head. Right up there. In that crevice. Right there, see it?
I can't see it from here.
In that top of that crevice.
Up there?
No,
Right here?
yeah, right there. Right in there, to your right.
Is
Right
that-
straight ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Is that in your field guide, Ron?
No, I don't know what the hell that is. I think it's a fungus among us.
There's another one.
Yeah, it's a fungus among us.
Coming out of the leaves.
Whoa.
Some type of fungus, I guess.
Some people might try to ingest that.
Probably.
No. I got a friend that would probably.
Hopefully, it's not a new virus.
I got a friend that will eat it just to see what it does to his system. Yeah. He does those things.
Andy, you're going straight up. You're not going to cut down through this. Oh, you are cutting down through the stream.
I'm surprised we haven't seen one in here. This is the greatest area for porcupines up in here.
For fossils?
A little bit awkward.
Yeah, a porcupine turtle.
How are people doing behind you, Jimmy?
Nobody's behind me.
Oh, you are? We haven't run into one in here.
How you doing?
Never run into one in here.
Somebody behind you need some light back there?
I'm trying to get my flashlight going. This is kind of where you gotta get wet right here.
No, there's a rock right here.
Yes, compost in there. Porcupine in there.
Agility does count, doesn't it?
I did it, didn't I?
You did it. You're doing great.
This guy needs some light back.
I'm good.
We got Eric back there.
There you go.
I climbed into a bunker.
Eric, did you see that fungus back there, Eric?
No.
It's to your right on the little corner of that rock. Yeah, right in front of your face. Look straight down. Yeah, right on the top corner of that. Right?
There's fungus? Where is it?
That green stuff right there?
Yeah, it's standing upright. It has little stems coming up.
That right there.
Yeah.
Huh. It just looks like moss to me.
No. Looks like cotton candy after it's been cooked a little too
Are you
long.
thinking about it?
Yep.
This is pretty cool, huh?
So, Eric, you were in this one?
I didn't go in because I didn't think it went in like this.
Hi, Kevin.
Who's that? Oh, there's Katie.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm cheating. I'm going above.
You think Daniel Bridges was down here hiding out at one point?
Yeah, probably. Definitely.
Hi! Nice light.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
Do you think people were in here?
No, you know what? I meant to bring 2 time capsules today, and I left them at home. I had them all ready to go. I'm gonna come back.
I can see you from abroad.
Tried that 100 times. And one day Kevin and I was up here. I go out.
How you doing back there? My friend. Good.
We got a head count. Little tight right here, Jimmy.
Kevin, these are my friends, Dave and Chuck.
Hi, Dave and Chuck.
Brought him along. That's Kevin.
Nice to meet you guys.
He's the guy, Kevin. It might seem like Ron is, but it's really Kevin.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
So we are at the Trafton Spring, which was named after the Trafton family, I presume. Ron's grandfather was Norris Trafton, so I think he came up here as a kid, and they used to cut a lot of firewood and lumber up here, and there's a massive white pine tree right behind me. I'll check it out.
School is? Yeah. Rogers Park? Yeah. We used to have a couple of places in here we drink water.
Trafton Spring right here.
Oh, thank you.
We're looking at the spring right here.
Well, I met when I was doing the Grange building, I met all these people that had, it was in the paper.
Is this the beginning of that one that we crossed?
Yeah, we think so, yeah. There might be some other geological formation below it. But
Ron says it's good to drink.
did he drink it?
But you haven't yet.
No, did he drink it?
He said many times.
But not this time.
I drank it.
And here we are standing in front of that very large white pine tree. It's probably about 120 feet tall.
And I know that's when that whiskey bottle, because he said, if my grandfather hadn't bought a pint of whiskey with him, he would have died of exposure. Well, there it is right there. I bet that's the one.
About what year would that have been?
1939.
I was gonna say, yeah, clearly before the World War II.
It took out every local dam.
Yeah,
All the dams on all the rivers, and the damage in Dover. Took out the whole downtown in Dover. Wow. Took out the bridge over the Cocheco River, and those brick buildings on the side of it down into the river. Yeah, it was. It must have been an unbelievable.
What year was that, Ron?
39. Took out the bridge on River Road down below Norton's.
Was the canal working then?
No,
4 years before he was born.
no. No, the canal wasn't until the 50s.
Okay.
But it was the biggest flooding ever.
I watched that, oh,
Even bigger than the Mother's Day flood.
On the right, before you get out on Route 1,
Off to the gorge.
it's in the bushes.
Up to the gorge?
Off to the gorge.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Trail.
Happy
What do
trails.
you call the, yeah.
you build where you
Oh, and I had a theory that I wanted to discuss with you about Daniel.
Oh, I love that. It's my favorite topic. You're the poor guy.
because it's a big house, and we heat what we use, and
What's in there, Ron?
Albino porcupine.
As an albino female porcupine that was there.
Right where that gentleman is right now?
Right in there somewhere, and my daughter that was right up here had been feeding her for about 4 or 5 years. At 5 o'clock at night, she comes to the door, and she comes in the house and eats, and she had a young male with her last year. She had a young male with her.
The porcupine.
Right, but she wouldn't let it come in the house to eat. My daughter had to put food on the porch because the mother wouldn't let it.
So
Let
the
it come in.
albine is white then, huh?
She's pretty yellow now. Cause
Ron, I was telling Katie that you one time took a nosedive from up there, and
Jesus
she
Christ.
couldn't believe that you were up there.
yeah, I jumped off a rock into that crevice and went head first and started rolling. And I was going to come right down through that crevice rolling with a backpack on, and I was able to grab a stone. If I didn't, I would have fallen from
All the way down.
up there, and Kevin would have had me.
And he was grasping his hands on the rocks, and he was all bloody.
Oh, Jesus, still in my hand, all the hell.
And he got right up and said, when we took off walking, I'm like, "You all right, Ron?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Worse has happened to me. Oh my gosh. That's terrifying.
It was, well, to see somebody's soles like 50 feet down, it was outrageous. It was crazy. It is raining up here. We're going to bypass the Fitzgerald Cemetery.
She died of drinking the water here.
Ron, you think this is a Fitzgerald child?
Yeah,
That's what the F stands for?
that's what the F stands for, the name of the father.
so this might actually be a Fitzgerald
See,
grave
there's
site
another one here.
as opposed to a Lewis.
There's somebody buried right.
There is another Lewis cemetery in this area, and we have decided not to include it in this video. Anything on that cemetery up there? Is that even on the map?
I don't think it's on the map. 79.
Bob Henenberger's house.
They never raised chicken.
But I think they took him up pretty
They had chicken at least twice a week, but they never owned a chicken.
So this is gonna, you know.
He's under, they called him Chicken Charlie.
I say, he's gone for the day. I say Yankee Stadium. Ron says the old Mets.
Okay, we've had quite a day. We averted the rain, and we are out of here.
Chicken Charlie.